Hello, this is Max. A pregnant woman on bed rest begins to wonder if her house is haunted or it's all in her head. Don't forget to subscribe. The movie starts by introducing a newly married couple, Daniel and Julie Rivers. Daniel works as a part-time university professor, and Julie, who is pregnant and expecting a baby in 2 months, has just moved with Daniel to an old yet beautiful lakeside home in upstate New York. Since the house had been abandoned for several years, they have hired workers to renovate it. While working on maintenance, one of the workers finds a vintage bracelet in the sewer and gives it to Julie, who finds it lovely and decides to keep it. Later, the couple discovers their Siamese cat, Lou, roaming around their bedroom. Daniel is tired from all the changes and house remodeling, but overall, they are happy with their marriage and excited about their upcoming baby. One evening, Julie fixes the bracelet she received and puts it on her wrist. Suddenly, she hears a child whispering in the distance, and when she investigates the noise, she finds Lou hissing at a covered doorway. Daniel joins her and takes her to the baby's room, where he shows her a baby monitor that can record video and has a microphone. Afterward, they attend a party organized by Daniel's superior. Julie engages in a conversation with an elderly lady, discussing their new house. The lady asks if Julie is pregnant with their first child, but before she can respond, Daniel interrupts and confirms it, which upsets Julie. When they return home, they have a heated argument about the conversation. Julie reveals that she had a stillborn son named Andrew in the past, which led to postpartum psychosis and a stay in a psychiatric facility. She worries about being judged by Daniel's new acquaintances if they discover the truth. However, Daniel just wants to forget the past and move on. Despite his pleas for her to listen, Julie angrily walks away, climbs the stairs, and notices a reflection of a little kid, causing her to lose balance and fall down the stairs. Julie is taken to the hospital, where she recalls her traumatic experience delivering her stillborn child. When she wakes up, the doctor informs her that the baby is fine, but she had a partial placental abruption due to the fall. The doctor advises her to go on bed rest for the remaining 8 weeks of her pregnancy, restricting her from heavy lifting or physical tasks, except for going to the restroom. After a few days, Julie is discharged from the hospital and receives help from Daniel to get into bed. He tries to cheer her up by showing her various items he has put in their bedroom, including a grabbing tool, an iPad, her laptop, and a pair of two-way walkie-talkies. The following day, Julie spends her time working on her laptop, watching TV, and playing with Lou using the grasping tool. However, while going to the restroom, she hears the sound of a child laughing and a baby crying. Concerned, she quickly returns to her bedroom. The closet door mysteriously cracks open, but when Julie investigates, she finds nothing inside. That evening, Daniel comes home and discovers a box in the bedroom. He becomes angry, assuming Julie went downstairs to retrieve it. The couple argues again, and Julie expresses her frustration about being confined to the house. Realizing the stress she's under, Daniel apologizes and comforts her. That night, as the couple goes to sleep, Julie hears the child's voice and the creaking of the closet again. When she looks in the closet, she sees the same boy staring at her. Julie screams, waking up Daniel, and tells him that someone is in the closet. However, when Daniel investigates, he finds no one there. The scene then shifts to 12 days later, with Julie still on bed rest. Looking out the window, she sees the boy playing outside her house and asks about his mother. The boy remains silent and points his finger at her, confusing Julie. The window closes on its own, and the baby monitor sounds an alert. When Julie looks at the monitor, she sees a woman's reflection in the mirror. Startled, she hears footsteps approaching and contacts 911, believing there's an intruder in the house. The police arrive but find no one inside. Concerned, Daniel decides to hire a nurse despite Julie's protests. That night, Julie wakes up and opens a box containing toys meant for her stillborn son, Andrew. Overwhelmed with grief, she cries herself to sleep. However, she is awakened by Andrew's toy car moving on the ceiling. Seeing the boy from before running out of the room, Julie suspects that it might be the spirit of her deceased son visiting her. She tries to communicate with Andrew through the baby monitor, but Daniel wakes up and asks her to be quiet. The scene shifts to Julie's 23rd day of bed rest, with the newly hired nurse, Delmy, sharing her own story of infertility. Julie is allowed to take a bath every 3 days, and Delmy assists her. Julie becomes convinced that the infant she sees is her stillborn son, Enru, and she frequently calls out his name, hoping for a response. A week later, Julie sees the boy in the house again. However, when she tries to approach him, she experiences a sharp pain in her stomach. The medical team is called, and it is determined that she has simply had a contraction. Delmy and Daniel inform the doctor about Julie's mental health history and the sightings of the ghostly boy. The doctor prescribes medication to assess the situation further. Later, Julie overhears a conversation between Daniel and the doctor discussing the possibility of admitting her to a mental institution if the medication doesn't work. One evening, while Julie is reading in bed, a ball rolls out from under the bed, and she assumes it's her cat, Lou, and starts playing with it. However, Julie is surprised to find Lou on the other side of the room, indicating that it couldn't have been the cat under the bed. Using a mirror, Julie once again sees the reflection of the boy. She begins to believe that the boy is trying to communicate something to her. The scene then shifts to 10 days before Julie's due date, when she is in the bathtub, calling out for Andrew. The boy approaches her and warns her about the danger of staying in the house. He mentions that she is coming to get the baby without revealing who she is. When Julie asks about the identity, Delmy appears, and the boy vanishes. Julie becomes suspicious of Delmy, thinking she might be after her child. Julie expresses her concerns to Daniel, urging him to fire Delmy. However, Daniel doesn't believe her and insists that he can only work peacefully if Delmy is around to care for Julie. He claims that the babysitter was recommended by the hospital and wants the best for his wife. Julie continues to believe that her deceased son is warning her, but Daniel leaves the room in frustration. The scene then shifts to 3 days before Julie's due date, when Delmy conducts another health exam. Seeing Julie's anxiety, Delmy tells a story about a woman named Melandra Kinsey who used to live in the neighborhood. Melandra and her husband had 3 children and were expecting a 4th. However, their car crashed, resulting in the death of their unborn daughter. Devastated, Melandra drowned her children and did the unthinkable. Delmy advises Julie to choose a positive outlook on life rather than dwelling on the past and becoming depressed, like Melandra. After Delmy leaves, Julie looks at a bracelet and notices the initials MK on it. Later, when Julie reviews the property deeds, she discovers that the previous owner's last name was Kinsey and the wife's name was Melandra. Julie contacts the local paper to inquire about Melandra and learns that she actually died in the late 1960s. Julie sees a picture of the family and realizes that the boy she's been seeing is not Andrew but one of Melandra's children. The final scene takes place on the last day before Julie gives birth. Daniel is on his way home while Julie is alone in the bedroom, monitoring the nursery. Using her phone, she links it to the vacuum cleaner. Andrew appears again, and when Julie asks if Melandra Kinsey is the one who wants her child, Andrew runs away. Julie experiences severe pain and shouts for Delmy, assuming she's going into labor. Delmy prepares to help, and when Daniel arrives, Julie insists on going to the hospital, claiming that Melandra Kinsey is in the house and wants their baby. However, Daniel already knew the story and kept it a secret, fearing it would upset Julie. As Julie experiences contractions, paranormal activities begin to affect Daniel and Delmy as well. Daniel realizes that Julie was right all along. Daniel asks Delmy to bring Julie's wheelchair, but it is flung aside as the house trembles again. Julie is helped downstairs by Daniel, but as they descend, the house continues to shake, and Julie experiences another contraction. The tremors cause power tools to fall, and Daniel is struck in the head, rendering him unconscious. Julie's water breaks, and she tries to use a walkie-talkie to call for help. However, she is pulled into the bathroom and then into an empty bathtub. The ghost of Melandra appears, heading toward the bathroom. Meanwhile, Julie pushes through the pain and successfully delivers a healthy baby girl. But Melandra enters the bathroom and attempts to harm the child. Determined to protect her daughter, Julie realizes that the floor beneath the tub is rotten. She shakes the tub until the floor caves in, sending the tub crashing to the ground. Tragically, Julie loses her life in the incident, but her baby remains safe. Daniel regains consciousness, and Julie asks him to take their baby to safety. As Daniel tries to break open the front door, Melandra reappears, approaching the baby. Julie, now determined, stands up and confronts Melandra. She grabs Melandra in a chokehold and asserts that the baby is hers, ordering the spirit to leave. With this, Melandra is then sicked out and sent to the afterworld. In the following scene, Julie discovers her lifeless body on the floor and realizes that she has become a ghost herself. The spirit of the boy appears and guides her to a room where her stillborn son, Andrew, awaits. Holding Andrew in her arms, Julie feels a pull back to the world of the living as a team of medics tries to revive her. At that moment, the ghost of Delmy arrives, and Julie asks her to take care of Andrew. She watches as Delmy ascends to heaven with Andrew in her arms. Julie is then awakened by the paramedics in the final scene. A year has passed since the paranormal incident. Daniel and Julie are now happily living with their daughter in the same house, knowing that Melandra's ghost is gone forever. If you are interested in such films, please proceed to the next video on the screen and also share your thoughts about this film in the comments. Give us a like and subscribe. Goodbye.